Okay, welcome to the Team Shine Bright call. It's August 1st.
Yay!
It's the first of the month. We all get a fresh start today. So that is awesome. I wanted to chat a little bit today about not hosting. I'm sorry. Words are hard. I did a live already tonight. About working your business part-time while you're working full-time hours. So I'm going to let Christina open, and then Christina, I may just interrupt you from time to time to add on. But Christina, talk about what you've been doing this month. Talk about like how you're feeling. What are things looking like for you? Ready, go.
All right. So at the beginning of July, I was pretty much like, okay, I am good at a lot of the vitals, right? So I'm good at the working out, drinking my shake. And I was like, well, what am I terrible at? Inviting. That's probably one of the hardest ones. So I was like, you know what? I'm consistently posting on Instagram. I'm doing my Instagram stories. That's kind of my main platform, I would assume. And I was just like, okay, I just need to do it. Just make the decision that I just need to do it. So I basically decided that I was going to do 3 things every single day at work when I had a few spare moments in time. And that was going to be either interacting or inviting. And then it was going to be having conversations or starting conversations. And then the last piece is going to be expanding my network. So I was like, I have to do those 3 things every single day. So mind you, I didn't really start this consistently when I first started coaching or even at the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year was really just like, okay, I'm doing 80-day obsession. This is going to be a really good opportunity to just showcase my journey on Instagram. And so I feel like I really leveraged that piece of it, just showing up every day. And then I was like, okay, now how can I take this to the next level, essentially? So for those that are going to catch the replay, or Sam, this applies to you. If you're feeling like I'm new and I don't really know where to start, I would say the first thing is to establish your presence on social media by either, posting every single day or, adding to your stories. And for me, it was like, okay, let me post like once a week. And then it was like, let me post twice a week. Okay, let me post 3 times a week, so on and so forth. So it was little baby steps. And then same thing with Instagram stories. It was just like, okay, let me do like 2 a day. Okay, let me do like 3 a day. Okay, now I'm going to aim for 10.
Christina, was that a comfort level thing, or what was that?
I think it was more of just like, how am I going to fit this into my day? Because I'm already juggling kind of a lot of stuff, and I didn't want to be in this place of like, I have to do this, and then it feel not fun and right. like a job, like a chore. I wanted it to be more of like, hey, I'm just going to try to feel it out and see how it can work in my day type of thing. Okay. So that's kind of how I started off the year, and especially with 80-day obsession and that type of thing. It was just like, let me just get more consistent with this. And I would still, invite and things like that throughout the spring, but I just didn't feel in a place where it was comfortable yet, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, after going to 2 Super Saturdays and then especially going to Summit, it was just like, I don't know, something clicked that was just like, you know what, like, I don't really care anymore. I'm just going to do this, and and I'm not going to really care. So it's mostly been like this past month, like kind of just getting rid of the fear and not really caring what people think, and just like, this is fun and I want to make it fun. And I want to build it into my day. Because what I was finding was throughout the spring was that I was like, okay, let me save all that stuff for the end of the day. Like, I'll do my invites and my combos and all that at the end of the day. And then I get home and I'd be like, I'm tired. And so like, it wouldn't actually happen. And so I knew that if I was going to do those 3 things I just mentioned, it had to be in the day, had to be before I got home from work. So really it was just like, okay, how can I make this work? So in July, I was just like, okay, let's do this. So kind of the steps that kind of led to this day-to-day consistency. I mean, I do this process at least 5 days a week now. And so what I'll do is I'll post something, and I'll include a ton of hashtags in there. And I've been kind of experimenting with, do I want the hashtags at the bottom of the post? Do I want the hashtags in the comments of the post?
It needs to go at the bottom right now.
Okay.
For the algorithm right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm finding. I just wanted to kind of experiment with it and to see what would work. But literally, like, I would write out my post in my notes in the phone. And that way all the spacing and all of that is right. And then I copy and paste and then start adding hashtags. And I just like literally scroll up to see what I was typing and going, oh, let me hashtag that. Let me hashtag that. Let me hashtag that. And it was just like literally whatever I was saying in the post. It wasn't like pre-thought out. It was just like, okay, what am I posting? And then let me just throw that in the hashtags.
Quick friendly reminder, don't hashtag Beachbody coach, day obsession. That does you no good. That's only going to find you other coaches. Hashtags are there to help people find you and help you find people. You're only going to find other coaches and clients if you're hashtagging Beachbody stuff. Just that.
Right. So, so from there, I do my post, I'd add my hashtags, and then I started finding that like random people were liking my stuff, or they would add me or start following me or whatever. And so that leads me to what I do the following day. So after I do that post, first thing I do when I get to work, whenever I'm focusing on this, and this is literally like a 20-minute time span typically, is I'll do I literally write it on a piece of paper, as you see in my posts, because that's how I roll right now. So I write a section that's combos, and I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or whatever number that you decide that you're going to start conversations. So I just started with 10, and I'd go through yesterday's posts and I'd go, okay, who started following me and who liked my stuff? And then I'll go in and I'll just write that in and fill in the blanks. And usually I can get up to 10. Sometimes I've gotten like up to 20, and I was like, oh, okay. So I kind of just go from there. Then what I'll do is, and I don't write them a message yet, but I write that down because I know who I'm going to talk to. And then what I'll do is I'll go to my second section, which is expand. And I'll do the same thing. I'll write expand. And this month I've been doing, or I guess July, I've been doing 5 people at minimum. So I'll go in and I'll write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'll go to from your profile, and in the top corner where it has a little icon with the plus, like a little person, I click there and it shows like contacts I've had in Facebook that, or like friends of friends, or somebody who's following me or whatever. And I'll go, okay. And I start like adding them in, and I just hit follow, and I'll just jot down who I follow.
Don't be picky about it. Just fucking go in there and just like click, unless they're a coach. Mm-hmm. Or if you think they're a coach, go suck them for a second.
That's pretty much it. It was just like, okay, are they already a coach?
Yeah, I dropped a video in the Diamond Dash group that was really, really, this was something I stole from Kate Morgan. She's the one that went 4-star in 4 months. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I dropped a video on how to expand, and I can literally expand my network by like 150 people in like 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. So y'all go watch that video if you're in that group. Anyways, continue.
Okay. So for last month, it was just like, let me just start with 5, because I wasn't doing it at all before. It was just like here and there adding people. So I was like, let me just start with a number and let me just be consistent with it. And it's fast. Like that literally takes maybe a minute. And then the last piece was the invite section. So I'd be like, okay, what feels good today? And I'd go, let me do 5, or let me do 6, or let me do 10. It just kind of just depended on the day. And I'd write it in, and I'd go in and I'd look at who's looking at my stories, who have I talked to in the past, who can I like follow up with, or who said that like, oh, I'm interested, but not right now. That's when I'd go in and I'd fill in those blanks. But I haven't really truly invited people like cold. Like I've always tried to at least start some sort of conversation first. So I didn't tally up how many total people I invited this past month, but I did get a lot more interest that way, where there was some sort of warm conversation going instead of just the cold invite. Right. So I alternate between interacting and inviting. So conversations happening every single day, expanding happening every single day, and then alternating between interacting and inviting. Because invite, like I mentioned at the very beginning, was the thing that I was like, oh, I hate this. And so I wanted it to feel good. So I didn't want it to be like this task that I was like dreading every single day. So that's why I alternated. And that's why I was like, okay, if I'm interacting and people are seeing that I'm engaged in their posts, then whenever I start that conversation later on, it's not going to be weird. And all of these things are things that, you know, have been said a million jillion times on Misfit and all of that. But it was just like coming to the realization of like, okay, like just do it. Right. So it's not anything innovative. It's not anything that like, oh my gosh, it's really just like sitting down and doing it. It's that simple. Just sitting down and doing it.
It's like literally just fucking do it. Like, yeah. Like just write it down, and then you'll prove to yourself that you did it and you didn't die, and then right. You can do it again.
Right. So, so all that being said, like it just becomes easier and easier and becomes faster and faster. So when I started doing this process, it started at like 45 minutes because I was like, who do I talk to? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like all in my head. And then today it was just like, okay, 20 minutes, like while I was taking a break at work. And so like the other piece to it too is if you jot down what you're going to do, or you jot down who you're going to contact, then if you like run out of time, like maybe you take 10 minutes to just jot down those names and you run out of time, you can always come back to it later, but you have your like plan, or you have your list or your to-do list or whatever.
You can work it that way too, and just write out the number of people instead of the actual people, and then go back in and fill that part later.
Yeah. The other piece too that I was doing was, since I was putting it down on paper, I'd circle later on, or I'd highlight who was interacting back with me. So whenever I forgot to mention on my conversations. So my conversations literally are just like, hey, thanks so much for the support on my IG story or post. Just wanted to say, have a great day. It's literally that simple. And it's like copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And then eventually Instagram gets mad and thinks you're spamming them. So just be careful with that. It's like, hey, you're using this DM thing the wrong way. So usually like the sweet spot is somewhere between 10 and 20, I found. But if you change it up, like if you say, hey, so-and-so, blah, 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 then that kind of goes around that whole thing.
Yeah, you can actually do up to 50 actions like that without getting in trouble. Just
good to know.
Yeah, I like that.
I have not done 50 combos, so working on it. But
awesome. I love this. How are you feeling going into August, having spent a month building your momentum?
It feels actually really good because like I didn't hit Success Club like I wanted to in July. But I just had a lot more conversations with people, and a lot more people that were like, hey, like send me more information. And then when I followed up with them, they're just like, oh, it's not a good time right now. And I was just like, okay, like I'm close. And that was the other thing too, was yesterday I was like, I would send like my follow-ups and be like, hey, I have 2 more spots left in my group. Would love to save a spot for you. I'm closing enrollment today. And then it kind of made me have like a deadline, and not just like this open free for all, anybody can join at any time. It was more of like, you know what, like if you have 0 people or if you have 10 people, you're just going to keep rolling. And then this first half of the month will be more interacting and engaging. And then the second half of the month will be heavy on my invites again.
I would work that weekly, not monthly. I would make like the beginning of the week, because I think you're going to go too slow and like feel stressed around Success Club if that's your goal this month. if you wait until the end of the month. So I would do like maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, interacting, Thursday, Friday, inviting. I might make that weekly. That way you're not like not inviting for 2 weeks or whatever.
Right. Does it feel weird to invite when you're like, oh, my next group is September 3rd or whatever, and it's like so far away?
You know, because I really only do my inviting like leading up to a group. I don't really plan it out. Like I really hustle at the beginning of the month and the end of the month. Like I've already hit success. Like I usually hit Success Club by the time I start my group, which is usually like the second week of the month. And so then at the end of the month, I'm also like getting a ton of Success Club points because I'm adding for that group that's upcoming. So you may just need to change the group, or maybe you want to run like, so your next group is when? September 3rd?
Yes.
When's your August group?
The 6th. So I'm in prep week.
It's right not now. Too late to invite to that. Do you do a prep week? So add people during your prep week.
Yeah, and that's my plan. That's what I'm still doing. I'm still keeping those
honestly will going. Like I will also add throughout my challenge group like, hey, we're in the middle of this one, but you'll get the full experience in the September one, and this way you've already dipped your toe in the water a little bit. I do that too. Okay. So you don't have to always be like, my next boot camp starts blah blah blah, or like, hey, I have an ongoing boot camp and you'd be totally perfect. I can squeeze you in if you want or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's kind of like a little bit about what I do. And then I don't throw all of this stuff in Trello. I still use Trello, but what I'll do is as I go through the week and I start highlighting or circling who's been interacting back with me or who's following me or whatever, who's interested, I'll throw them in a card in Trello. So I'll write like interested and like throw those people in, or follow up with so-and-so and I'll put them in a card, or continue conversation with whatever. And that way, like I can keep these papers, you know, for my record, but like really it's the Trello stuff I want to come back to when I'm going into a new month.
The papers just to hold you accountable.
Right.
Okay. And it really all comes down to what Christina said, like, it's not rocket surgery. Like you literally just have to fucking do it. You have to sit down and force yourself to do it. And it is uncomfortable.
At first it really is. Cause I was just like,
not the inviting, but like the tracking yourself. Yeah. You're like, it's like so painful. But I was talking with Heather Lee. We had a Zoom yesterday, her and I told her, I was like, I'm so comfortable. And I like being comfortable. I'm hitting Success Club 10 every month. Like that feels comfortable and easy. I'm recruiting 3 or 4 coaches a month. That feels comfortable and easy. And I'm like, man, I don't really want to go big. And then I was like, I'm sorry, what did I just say? Like, I don't want to get uncomfortable. Like it scares me to go bigger, but like, we have to all get uncomfortable. We have got to be okay with being uncomfortable, whatever that is. If that is something in my eye, I'm sorry. If that is setting bigger goals that make you uncomfortable, if that is inviting because that makes you uncomfortable, if that is posting on your social media because that makes you uncomfortable, you have to be uncomfortable. Like I can share on social media all freaking day. I can invite all freaking day. I can do all of those things, but setting goals makes me uncomfortable because I'm scared I'm not going to hit them. And then then I feel like I failed even though I didn't. And so like
I think that's the other thing too, is that, sorry to interrupt, but but you're absolutely right. It's like, well, all of us are very much like, these are my goals. I want to hit them, that type of thing. And then we get to the end of the month and we're like, oh man. And we start off the month on this like slump. But I didn't really feel like that this month. Like this is the first month where I'm like, you know what? Like I did a lot of work and it's fine.
Yeah, because you've built this huge foundation and you've built this routine and you've built this, this like normalcy around your business now. So now it's time to reap the rewards of what you've just sown. And then next month we're going to level up again. We're going to add to that. So I love that, love that, love that. The next part of this, I want to let you guys know, I'm going to be hosting morning work accountabilities if you want it. So like Christina works a desk job. She interacts with a lot of people throughout the day, but she's not a teacher anymore. So some ways that Sam and I were talking about this on the phone the other day, and we were talking about ways to fit our work into our work. So we all know we have to make our workout a priority, duh. Also, side note, we were all in Dallas, yeah. So remember when Joel was like, put your effing phone away and don't post videos during your workout? I had to take that so seriously because I was so guilty of that. And now I just record my videos and I save them and I keep going, and I'll go back and post them when my workout is done while I'm trying to stop sweating. But anyways, that was huge for me. So I don't remember why I got on that, but it was just like, I don't remember. Anyways, so we were talking about ways to like incorporate work into our work. And there's a lot of ways you can go about this. I mean, we all are guilty of getting to work way too early. Okay? Sit at your desk for 5 minutes and respond to your inbox. Like, you can take 5 minutes. Or hell, take your phone to the bathroom. I don't care. Like, I drink my coffee at home and then I get to work. Coffee hits. Okay, I'm going to take my phone with me and answer some messages on the toilet. Like, I'm so serious right now. This is how you fit it in. You make it work, okay? Take 5 minutes during lunch to do something, expand or respond or invite. Take 5 minutes during each of your breaks. Like, you have a conference period, you have a lunch, you have after school time that you're required to be there. Don't tell me you are working that entire freaking time. Don't tell me you have kids in your face every minute of every hour of every day that you're at work. If you do, you need to set some boundaries with your students, number one, okay? But number two, you need to set some boundaries with yourself. Like, yes, you are there, but you are not a slave to that school or those children or that principal. Give yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes during each break during the day to do something that is going to fulfill you outside of your job. Okay? Like, I hate when people are like, oh, I'm too busy, I can't work, I can't do the business. Like, are you really that busy? Okay, because if you are, you have some boundary issues. And we need to figure that out first. Okay? So, you make time, you find, that dog is so cute. You find time, you make it work. And like Christina said, this can take 20 minutes. Imagine if you took 10 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes during your conference, 10 minutes at your lunch, and 5 minutes after school. You'd be done with everything, and then you could go home, and you're probably going to feel so good about what you've accomplished. You're going to be like, oh my God, I want more. And then you could go and do more and take action on that energy and those high vibes instead of like action out of necessity, you know? Or you can come home and dump your ass on the couch in front of some Netflix with a glass of wine. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? I mean, that shouldn't be a daily occurrence, but you know what I'm saying? Like, once you start to do that minimum amount of work, you're going to feel so good that you're going to want to do more. And it's all about getting out and doing more. Can you beat your best? Can you outwork yourself? Can you show up stronger? Can you show up more consistently? You have to be consistent. If you drop off the face of the earth for 2 days, nobody's going to believe in you. None of your potential clients are going to believe in you. None of them are going to trust you. You have to be present. It doesn't take a lot to be present on social media. Not a whole lot. I was listening to that Melanie Mitro podcast. You only have to post once a day on Instagram on your feed. Like, one really good post takes like 5 minutes, maybe. Also, I feel like I always get my best posts at the most awkward time. So like, I'll be sitting on the couch with my husband and I'm like, hold on, I need to write this post that I can post out tomorrow. And like, that's all you have to do. Like, and then copy, paste, done. That's it. Like, it's not hard. It doesn't take a lot of time. You just have to freaking do it. Okay. So we are just shy of 4 months out from the diamond deadline. If you want to go on that retreat to Florida in April, it's going to be amazing. I've seen some pictures of where we're staying. Like, oh my God, it's going to be so unreal, you guys. You are going to want to be there. And I want you to be there. Like, I don't want to be there and then be like, I wish you guys were all here. Maybe next time. Like, that would make me so sad. I could not handle that. We all have to be there because we all have to be there. End of story. So, I was going to say something to that effect. Oh, so if you want to take it to the next level, if you want to step it up, then I'll be hosting, words are so hard. So I'll be hosting a live power half hour. I haven't figured out the exact days yet, 2 or 3 days a week in the mornings at like 5:15, because that's when I can get my crap done. Okay. Sam was like, I'm scared about the school year. I don't know how I'm going to handle all of this. And I was like, well, let's make a plan. Here's my plan, guys. I'm going to work my business very, very actively 2 or 3 days during the school week. The other 2 or 3 days, I'm just going to do what comes into my inbox. Of course, I'll be present on social media. Of course, I'm still going to be posting. Of course, I'm still going to be interactive in my stories. But I'm only going to proactively work my business 3 days during the week. I'll probably work some on Saturdays as well, because 3 days is not enough to get where I want to go. But that's what I'll be hosting. So as soon as I know the days for that, I'll let you guys know. I have to be out the door at like 6:40 every morning. So I have to start getting ready at 6 a.m. So I could be done with my crap by like 5:45, so I have enough time to, I don't know, go back to sleep or meditate or something before I start getting ready. So probably 5:15, 3 days a week is what I'll be hosting. Because now with Lift 4, I'll only be working out I will be working out, I think, Tuesday. What did we say? Jet helped me make my schedule. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday, I think, is when I'll be working out. So I'll be working in the mornings of the days that I don't work out, and then working in the afternoons of the days that I do work out. So anyways, I'll get more details on that, but there will be an accountability group for people that want to work their business. This is not a workout accountability group. This is business oriented. Let me tell you, you have to take actions that are going to move your business forward and build your business if you want to be a diamond coach. If you want to be a 2-star diamond coach, because that's where we all need to be. We all need to be 2-star. Like, that's where it's at. So, if you are interested in that, awesome. Just watch the team page, and I will drop some more info as soon as I kind of start to nail down what my routine is going to look like. But I just don't want you guys in survival mode when it comes to the school year. I want you guys to thrive. I want teachers at your school to be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I'm so tired and I don't get it. Like, I want other people to notice your energy. I want you to feel different this school year than you did last school year, because you are doing more things. Like, how crazy is that? We're adding more to our plate, but we're going to do less and feel better. That is so freaking weird how that works, number one. Number two, people don't get it until they live it. So go live it so that you can prove it, so that you can prove to other people that this is where they need to be too. Because everybody needs to be creating and thriving and not in survival mode. You cannot just survive the school year and live for the summer. You cannot survive the week and live for the weekend. You have to thrive. That is how we were designed to be. We were designed to be happy and healthy and thriving. And anything less than that is not in alignment with what God or the universe or whatever you want to call it has in store for us. You have to remember that. Okay. Mic drop. I'm going to stop the recording.